Hello and welcome to I24 News Sports Daily Magazine for all your scores and stories from the world of sports. Plenty of action coming up, and we begin with football and the final of 3 nights of qualification games in Europe. Dutch defender Dari Janmaat was going through some very good times. He finally moved to the Premier League this season, joining Newcastle from Dutch side Feyenoord. He even scored for the Magpies on their last match, and once again he was a part of his national team. But last night in Prague it all went wrong on the worst possible moment. Just as the game against the Czech Republic was about to end with a decent 1-1 draw, Janmaat made a terrible mistake, basically setting up Pilar to score the winner for the Czechs. The Netherlands lose 2-1 in the renewed debut of manager Guus Hiddink, who did not even try to hide his anger.
My conclusion is that the formation you play is not important. 3-5-2, 5-3-2, or 4-3-3. If you make silly mistakes, then the formation is not the issue.
We will do our best to qualify for the European Championship, and these 3 points are quite important for us. Today's result of Iceland beating Turkey 3-0 shows that our group will not be very easy.
As the Czech manager mentioned, Iceland beat Turkey 3-0 at home, making a clear statement. There were no goals in the match between Kazakhstan and Latvia. Group B started with a major surprise as the group head Bosnia lost 2-1 at home to Cyprus, and Gareth Bale saved Wales from embarrassment as he scored twice to lead his team to a 2-1 win in Andorra. In Group H, Antonio Conte got to a good start as the men in charge in Italy. The Squadra Azzurra won 2-0 in Norway. There were also wins for Bulgaria and Croatia. There are no qualifiers for the Copa America, which will be held next year, as all the South American teams play in the competition, so they use the time for international friendlies. One such friendly took place in New Jersey, where Brazil met Ecuador. The Seleção is still recuperating from that terrible semi-final loss in the World Cup, and what better way to do it than this? A beautiful play coming from the free kick, Neymar setting up Willian to give the Brazil the lead. Coach Dunga can be happy as the hard work and practice pays off. Oscar, Neymar and Willian with a perfect execution. Brazil had the better chances and they really should have gone 2-up right after the break, but somehow Neymar misses that. All he had to do was touch the ball, but he fires it to the crossbar. The new captain knows he should have done better. He even takes it with a little smile. One beautiful setup and one incredible miss. Another day at the office for Neymar. Brazil wins 1-0. Now we take a closer look at the man in charge of world football, Sepp Blatter. He is extremely unpopular among football fans throughout the world, but it's a different story inside the body he heads. The Swiss is now looking to be re-elected for a 5th term as the president of FIFA, and it's quite difficult to see anyone who could win against him. Lise Barenboim and Merav Savir try to understand the secret behind the force called Sepp Blatter.
At 78 years old, Sepp Blatter is always on the front page of international football. The most powerful man in Switzerland is officially a candidate for his own succession as the head of FIFA. Blatter is running for a 5th term, which is evidence he is meant to be in football.
You see, a mission is never finished, and my mission is not finished.
But behind the image of being a compassionate representative of international football, Sepp Blatter is known for his strategic and manipulative qualities. He is very confident about the support he receives from the football institutions.
I got through the last the Congress in St. Paul, in Sao Paulo, not only the impression but the support of the majority, the huge majority of national associations.
Son of a mechanic and former commander of an army regiment, he had an ordinary career until his 40th birthday. He was then spotted by Horst Dassler, heir of the German brand Adidas. The supplier placed Blatter inside FIFA, where he learned the behind the scenes of football. His reign has been unchallenged around the world of football since 1998. But all the scandals that happened gave Blatter a terrible image. The sale of tickets during the World Cup in Brazil and Qatar being handed the 2022 World Cup have made the headlines. The horrific workers' conditions at building sites in Qatar have caused a general outcry around the world. Last May, he acknowledged making a mistake by giving the World Cup to Qatar in 2022, but he defended his choice.
We have part of responsibility, but we cannot interfere in the workers' unions, workers' rights.
Despite his reputation, the Swiss promises new reforms to avoid other FIFA scandals.
Nous allons remettre la FIFA,
we will put FIFA's ship on clear, transparent waters. It will take a little time, not one day to the other, but we will.
The man remains nevertheless mysterious. His own friends do not know his annual salary, as his greed for more power and glory keep him a mystery. But the president of FIFA is obviously a lover of football, and when he's not presiding over a meeting, he even tries to be funny. In October, Ronaldo was the target of one of his jokes.
He's like a commander on the field of play.
Blatter will participate in the upcoming election in May 2015. Jérôme Champagne, the former Secretary General Deputy of FIFA, is now running, but does not appear to be a threatening opponent. It is apparent that Sepp Blatter will not give up his seat of president for anything.
Perhaps the most controversial decision taken by FIFA under Blatter is the one to award Qatar with hosting the 2022 World Cup. It has raised many questions. One of them is the extreme heat during the summer, which may force the organizers to move the event to the winter. One of the directors of the tournament addressed the issue in the Soccerex convention in Manchester.
There's obviously some resistance. There's obviously groups
some
of
resistance
people
to what?
to move, to break away from tradition. I think, and it's normal, that's absolutely natural. But I think also there's a lot of people who believe that this is the World Cup. It does belong to the world. And for that, it needs to be able to travel all over the world. And this could be the first time that a World Cup is moved in terms of timings. And maybe it becomes the norm for the future. Maybe people realize that there's a template that we can use that makes it easier.
And it's not just the Qatar World Cup and the upcoming elections FIFA has to deal with. There are also other things happening. The World's Footballing Governing Body confirmed today that the Nigerian Football Federation has met its demands to reinstate ousted officials and will not be suspended from international action. The officials were removed last month in an election which FIFA did not recognize and therefore demanded that they be allowed to return to work by Monday and the properly elected officials leave. Once these conditions were met, FIFA announced that Nigeria avoided an international ban. Basketball now, and as expected, Slovenia was no real match for Team USA in the Mundo Basket. The Slovenians were able to keep close only in the first half, but the Americans made it a one-side show after the break. They will now face Lithuania in the semifinal. Michael Friedman takes another look at the action from Barcelona.
We already know the first two semifinalists in the World Cup of Basketball in Spain. In Barcelona, Team USA gave an impressive performance, beating Slovenia 119-76. They appear to be lacking on defense early on, with Slovenia on their heels in the first half, who can be proud of their determination.
Great game. Hats off to Slovenia. Great team, great three-point shooting team. And, they played hard, battle. We knew they was going to battle. Had us on our heels for a little bit going into the half. We were only up 7. We couldn't make a shot to fall, but we just kept defending.
In the third quarter, the Americans excelled at passing the ball despite having no true offensive leader. The Stars and Stripes took advantage of their athleticism to take control of the match, giving them a superb lead. They were more effective defensively, with turnovers, and played lights-out basketball against a powerless Slovenia.
We're beatable. There's no question about it. And we're a very young team, and that's why I was really pleased with how we handled things today, because usually a young team would get really frustrated with the ball not going in, and it turned pretty physical. And at halftime, I just thought they kept their composure. And I asked them at halftime, I said, we need to be a mature team.
The United States will now face Lithuania in a repeat of the World Cup semifinal 4 years ago.
I think even semifinal will be completely different team. Game because Lithuania have power under the basket.
Lithuania showed great confidence, beating Turkey 73-61. Turkey started the game off strong with an early lead.
I am especially proud of everybody on the Turkish team, starting from the staff to the players to everybody, and it was a good run for us, and hopefully We made everybody back home proud.
However, Lithuania showed great aggressiveness in the paint along with the giant Dariush Lavridanovic, who has been impressive scoring from far. But it was most apparent that their defense made the difference.
Everything what was going on the court was from defense. We played a really great defense, so I respect those guys with all those problems what we have this preparation season with those losses. So I think this is great result for us, for Lithuania.
Team USA is very young and athletic, and despite a lack of international experience, they will take on the fully confident Lithuania. It promises to be a spectacular semifinal.
The other two semi-finalists will be decided tonight. The quarterfinals this time will be held in Madrid with one giant match, the host nation Spain against France. Last summer, this was the European semi-final. Just like now, Spain were favorites, but the French pulled off a huge surprise, especially thanks to their superstar Tony Parker. This time Parker is out, and another Spanish defeat would be seen as a major shock. This is the opportunity for Pau Gasol and his friends to settle the score with the French, but their coach insists there are no emotions involved, just the will to continue in the tournament.
No revenge. No revenge. I mean, it's a different game. It's quarterfinals. It's the key to go to the semifinals. So it's not a revenge. It's just a new game, very important for both teams, and we will play as a new game. And the past, you only can take a look at the past to try to improve. It's not important for tomorrow that Tony Parker is not in the game. I mean, it's a very good player. It's a very important player, but they play now in different.
The winner of this match will meet in the semi with the winner of the night's other quarterfinal. Serbia will take on Brazil, both teams coming after impressive wins in the previous round. The Serbs left Greece behind with a 92-72 win. Serbia always is a powerful team, and this time is no exception. They may not have NBA stars this time, but Milos Teodosic and Nenad Krastic are big names in European basketball, and when the man in charge is someone with so much experience like Sasha Djordjevic, anything is possible.
I think it's obviously that we had improvement. We had a tough group, and all those great teams that we play against, including France, Brazil, and Spain, helped us to gain more confidence. Nevertheless, we lost the games. We had a lot of good moments, and I have faith in my players. Their physicity is impressive, and we have to answer that. We have to match their strength under the basket and in the open floor. In the open court, they're devastating, and that.
Brazil is having a great tournament so far. They already have one big achievement under their belt. They beat their all-time rival Argentina 85-65 in the previous round. Maybe we should not really be surprised, as they have no less than 4 NBA players: Barbosa, Verjao, Nene, and Splitter. They also have Marcelinho Huertas, who plays for Barcelona, so this is a very powerful side. Don't be surprised if we see Brazil occupy one of the 4 tickets to the semi-final. Now to boxing, and it's always interesting when the money man comes to Las Vegas. Floyd Money Mayweather came to town ahead of his title fight against Argentina's Marcos Maidana on Saturday. The fans came in to see Mayweather, who is still undefeated with a record of 46-0, including 26 knockouts. This will be the second fight between the two. 4 months ago, Mayweather beat Maidana, known as El Chino, but only by a decision. The current champion knows his rival will come to find his revenge, and he knows he will expect a very hard fight ahead.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's coming for the knockout. I'm going for the knockout, so this have to be an amazing show. You know, like I said before, I have a brilliant team, I have a brilliant game plan, and we have to see how it play out Saturday.
Big news came in today from the world of Formula One, as the man in charge of Ferrari will soon be leaving his post. Luca Di Montezemolo, who heads the prestigious Italian team for the past 20 years, will step down next month following heavy criticism for the team's poor performance for the past few years. Montezemolo is widely seen as the man who turned Ferrari into the successful brand it is today. However, they have been unable to win the Constructors' title in the Formula One since 2008, with more and more people putting the blame on Montezemolo. Sergio Marchionne, the chief executive of parent company Fiat, will be the man in charge of Ferrari as of October 13th. And we will end our show with the man of the week. Very few people thought Marin Cilic would be the US Open champion. Now that he is, it's time to enjoy. Cilic took his new friend for a walk up 70 floors to the top of the famous Rockefeller Center in New York. For his last media session, he was very happy to display his new silverware with the Manhattan skyline in his back. Cilic is the first Croatian to win a Grand Slam since his current coach, Goran Ivanisevic, won the title in Wimbledon back in 2001. And that's it for us today. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful, beautiful day.